Hey everyone, while I'm in London, I really wanted to come visit the Tower of London. I of course am with my mobility scooter Scootz, so I wanted to document what it's like visiting this historic place with a mobility scooter, because when I think of historical buildings or monuments, accessibility is definitely low on the list of what they were thinking about back then when this was created. So I'm gonna document what it was like, and hopefully if you're visiting or plan to visit soon, this will be helpful for you. Like I said, I have a mobility scooter, so it may be a little bit different from a wheelchair or any other types of potential mobility aids you'll be using, but I'm going to share my experience, so let's get into it. To begin, something really interesting and helpful that I find that they do here in London is offer disability-specific ticket prices. So I think the ticket prices are actually a little bit lower if you do have a disability. I think it may be because you can't access the full place that you're visiting in your mobility device, wheelchair, scooter, whatever it is. I could be totally wrong, that's just my guess. But I do get a discounted price as having a disability, and then the person that I'm with can get in for free. They call it a disability or disabled carer ticket, and that is free. So definitely something to keep in mind when you're planning out your trip, cost-wise, but also something just to keep in mind planning so you can get this ticket in advance. So I'm here with one friend, so I got the disability ticket for myself. I think they call it disabled concessions, and then she got the carer ticket. So for both of us together, I think it was around £30. Which split in two really isn't that bad, but yes, they consider her to be my carer. She helps me with things, so she gets that free entrance to this. So I checked into the Tower of London. I'm actually inside of it right now. I scooted in the little main part, but once I did check in, they gave me this packet. It's an access guide, and it has all of the routes that I can take with my mobility scooter. They also shared me what kind of tour guides to talk to, what kind of tours would be accessible to me on my scooter. So planning to do that while I'm here. My friend is going to be doing some of the parts that I can't get to, but she cares way more about history and stuff than I do, so I'm okay with it. It gives me some time to film this vlog as well. So I'm excited. I mean, scooting on with my mobility scooter on the kind of cobblestone is really tough, so I'm interested how far I'll be able to get in. I'm always nervous that it's gonna knock the battery out, so I try to go really slow. But I was really happy to receive the access guide and hoping I'll get to see kind of the main points while I'm here. So I'll bring you along, and like I said, hopefully this is beneficial to anyone planning a trip to the Tower of London while you're visiting London. Of course, it's a lot of sad things that happened here, a lot of executions back in the day, you know, but it's so cool to be here. Alright, and this right here, as you could see, this is really hard for me to scoot on, but this is not bad at all, and that actually wraps around to the front. Of course, I just had to use the restroom while here, and they do have accessible toilets. I was waiting in front of it for quite some time because I thought someone was in there and that it was occupied, but I guess you needed a key for it. And a very, very nice couple came up to me and told me, and then they went and got the key for me and brought it back. So I was able to go to the restroom, but just a heads up, if you do come, they do have accessible toilets, but you need a key for them. So keep that in mind, that you'll probably need to find someone before you can actually go. But the actual toilet was very nice, very accessible, lots of grab rails, lots of space for my scooter, but did want to give that little update. I know I don't have the best videography, but I do keep showing the ground intentionally to give viewers a true understanding of what the texture is like, so they can make an educated decision if this is accessible for them and their specific needs. So now I'm showing you the White Tower, and then of course the surrounding lawn, and you could see some of the other surrounding areas of the Tower of London. So unfortunately I cannot go into the White Tower here. There's a sign here that says there's 204 steps inside with spiral towers, so I just don't feel comfortable without being able to bring my scooter. But it's really beautiful from the outside. My friend went inside and she'll take pictures and tell me what it was like. but they have a little wardrobe tower here with some information and history, and it's really pretty. Just can't make it there, but I will be able to see the royal jewels, so I'm excited for.
You're not having a pee here. This is the one tower. This is iconic, this. Look, William the Conqueror will be spinning in his grave. A pee in there. I don't know if you're the princess. Off you go. Go on, go over here. Oh, off you go. There's a pee in the White Tower. Oh, that's you, Charlie.
I know. You've got a princess a pee.
That White Tower.
It says up there, it's up your
Some people that work here were just in costume and started a little mini play situation. I did not know what was happening, but it was actually really funny. This guy was down and he yells to someone at the White Tower and said, "The princess needs to pee in there." And she's like, "Are you kidding me? You can't pee in here. That's so like unladylike. You can't pee in the White Tower." This whole skit back and forth. And then he turns around and he's holding a pillow with a P on it, like PEA, and I just started cracking up, so I wanted to share. After the skit happened, I also realized there were different storytellers telling different stories of things that happened here at different parts of history. In the Tudor period, this is where Anne Boleyn was executed, so I learned a lot while my friend was inside. After the fact, I did learn that there was a lift to get inside of the White Tower as well, but it only brought you to one small portion, so I personally chose not to go in it, but it is an option if you're interested in that. This building is where the royal jewels are. It was completely accessible. I just couldn't record while I was inside. Just finished in the crown jewels with Scootz. It was completely accessible. Honestly, it was a nice break having the flat surface. But we got to see crowns and different things that they've used in ceremonies. It was really cool, really accessible. Now we'll probably do one more loop around and head out. But it was a really, really nice experience, and overall pretty good on the scooter. Just proceed with caution if your battery can't handle rough grounds. This definitely wasn't the worst cobblestone I've ever seen, but I did want to proceed with caution because I've been having some issues with Scootz that unfortunately raveled out the rest of the entire time I was in Europe. So keep watching, come back to my next video to find out if Scootz makes it through my 2 weeks in Europe.